Welcome to Blade HQ, everybody. Today is June 30th, 2025, and we've got a ton of new knives to talk about.
We really do, and to start off, let's jump into our sponsor for the episode, which is QSP. They make some amazing value knives in all different flavors and sizes.
Yeah, that QSP stands for quality, service, price, and they deliver hard on all three.
It does, and this is the fixed blade that they make called the Aracet. It has rosewood handle and 9CR14 MOV blade steel. This thing's super classy.
Yeah, and this is a fairly budget-friendly knife. Goes for well less than $100, but look at this mirror polish on there.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I've seen knives that have a mirror polish that get jacked up $3 or $4 or $5 more $100 just for the polish, but you're getting it here on a really awesome fixed blade. And they didn't skimp on anything here.
Absolutely. No, they make really great stuff, and you can tell in the detail in this leather sheath as well.
Yeah, the tooling on that leather is quite something.
Looks great.
I'm sure some leather guy in the comments will tell us how to make that awesome effect.
Oh, absolutely. That's sweet, I like it.
Yep, thank you QSP for sponsoring this episode, and thanks for doing business with us in perpetuity. Now we're giving this away in the live streams. Make sure you join us every Monday at noon Mountain Standard for the live, and you can get on these giveaways.
Heck yeah, and something else fun coming up this week is our 4th of July sale just started. And this sale is sponsored by Piranha. They're an amazing USA-made knife brand, and they also provided us with these awesome titanium credit card knives.
Yeah, I'm interested in the grind on these things. It's got a chisel grind with a curve on the inside, so you can cut stuff.
I know. I always wondered. I'm like, if I keep this in my wallet, am I going to cut myself? But I think it's pretty convenient.
Yeah, I carried one around for a couple of days and I didn't cut anything. The one thing I'd be worried about is this little point scouring into your wallet, but that didn't happen for me. I just put it between a couple of cards.
Yeah, but if you guys think these are cool, you can get them for any $75 or more purchase on BladeHQ.com. It'll get thrown right in.
Yeah, so check it out, and thanks for Piranha for sponsoring that giveaway.
Exactly.
And speaking of Piranha, that's our first new knife on the table.
It is. Tell us about it, George.
So this is the MagnaRaptor. And I think the Magna comes from the fact that we have a MagnaCut blade on this guy.
Yeah.
But what really inspired me about this knife is this handle with these really deep cutaways that go all the way through.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Looks really cool, and it keeps the weight way down. Especially, this isn't necessarily a thin knife, but it's nice and light.
Yeah. Is that aluminum handle?
Yep, aluminum. I want to say it's a clear anodize on that.
Okay. I like it. Yeah, Piranha does some really good stuff. I've been handling a lot of their knives because of the sale. And they have great action. It's a nice tactile button. These things are awesome.
Yep, they're made in Idaho, very well respected in the knife community, and the pricing isn't ridiculous either. $250 for this guy.
Not bad.
For all that milling and MagnaCut, seriously, very well done, Piranha.
Heck yeah.
Yep, next up, going from automatic to traditional, we got Jack Wolf.
And this one, I'm excited for these.
You got one of these at Blade Show, yeah?
I did not, but I should have.
Oh, somebody in the office got
Someone
one.
did. But
Okay.
these are Jack Wolf's new Gateway series. So this is the Gateway Barlow, his traditional slip joint that you guys know. But these are coming in at $69.99.
Yeah, but it's got the walk and talk of every Jack Wolf you ever wanted.
Absolutely. Same quality, same look and feel. He basically took what he normally does and just made it a great value for you guys.
Yep, 14C28N, steel on the bolsters and the spring, and then this one has this blue bone. There's a few extra flavors there.
The bone, I think, is my favorite.
I feel like if you're gonna have
It's so
a
cool.
traditional, like a slip joint, you either want to go bone or wood.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Exactly.
I know that's unpopular in some areas.
But he should be coming out with a few other models through this new Gateway series. As the word sounds, he wants to introduce you guys to Jack Wolf in a more entry-level price and to hopefully get more of you guys on board.
Yep, and one thing I really appreciate here is he did not put a stop pin in that. So a stop pin on most knives, like I'll pull up this guy, we'll talk about it in a minute, you might be able to see this little pin back here, and that prevents the blade from over traveling.
Yeah.
But on a slip joint, what a stop pin does is it prevents the blade from traveling too far down, and if you want, you can kind of push and see this has a little bit of budge to it. Don't want to do that too hard because you might hit the back spring, but this gives you a really nice click on the close, and it's something that only the most discerning of slip joint nerds care about, but they care. And I love that we don't have a a stop pin here because Ben Belkin over at Jack Wolf wants to make sure everybody gets the slip joint of their dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great new entry-level knife. But speaking of Jack Wolf, and back to kind of what he's normally up to, he has this cool crossover folder that he created.
Yeah, super bougie. This one's called the Tango. I'm trying to remember the name of the company he designed it with.
I can't think of it either.
Yeah,
Apologies.
there's a lot of names to remember around here.
Yeah.
But whoever it is out there, you did a great job. I love this compound grind on there. Gives you a nice thin edge for your slicing stuff, but a nice robust tip. Also, it looks real cool.
It does, yeah, and the milling on this titanium handle is, you know, perfect. It looks so good with the knife. It follows the contours of the handle. And I believe the other models are more of an inlay with, I think he does carbon fiber. He has
The
some other-
Kiranite.
Yeah, Kiranite, a bunch of different materials. I think he has a wooden one. So he's taking his exact Jack Wolf flares and styles and just throwing it on a more modern folder.
Yep, these ones are not cheap though. These are Grail knives. $349.99 gets you into one of these, but the action, the materials, the workmanship, so good.
Yeah, these are very, very nice.
Yep, and I love the little subtle front flipper on that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna see a few front flippers on the table, but you're saying front flippers aren't quite your cup of tea.
You know, they're not my thing, and I think I get scared I'm gonna cut myself when I'm opening them, but, you know, maybe you just gotta be good at it, and I'm not.
Yeah,
That's all
you'll
it
get
is.
there. Next up from Petrified Fish, we have the Lis, L-I-S, Liz.
Okay.
And this one, I love the G10 on this. Why can't
Yeah.
every G10 look that fun?
It's very funky, but I like it.
Yep, we got a button lock and a fairly large blade here made of 10CR15 COMOV, I want to say.
Wow.
Which
A
is,
mouthful.
it's a mouthful, but what you need to know is that is effectively the equivalent of VG10. So it's something you see on a lot of kitchen knives. Great edge retention, great toughness, a nice balanced steel, and that's why you see it so much there. Good stainlessness as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot bigger. It has great ergonomics, has a nice front finger groove for you, but obviously if you have a lot larger hands than mine, you're still gonna find comfort with this knife with a nice long blade, like you said.
Yep, it's fun. I love the black, and man, I gotta get that G10 in my life. It looks so good.
I know, I love it. But yeah, this thing's super smooth as well. Great action. I like it.
And a nice button lock.
It does. There's
Next
a nice
up-
wire clip on the back. Point that out.
Oh yeah, that
sorry.
does that. Is that a reversible wire clip too? Oh,
Yes,
look
sir.
at that. It is. Lefties rejoice.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Next up.
We have the Lanza from Bestechman. And this one is real slim and gentlemanly.
It is super small.
Here, I'm going to hold it up so it doesn't
Yeah,
fall
it's gonna
around
fall
on you.
over. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this one is from a Polish designer. I actually met him at SHOT Show a couple of
Okay.
years ago. I'm going to butcher your name. I promise I've practiced. I have Grzegorz Grabarski. Is what I
Okay.
think his name is. I'm sure some Polish person in the comments is going to be like, how dare you defile my beautiful language? And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just an American mutt. But yeah, what I love here is this pocket clip loops all the way over the top. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
get a really deep carry, and it also kind of helps close the knife off at the top, almost gives it a pen look.
Yeah, I mean, the scales are it looks very open, which makes it so minimal and lightweight, because there isn't much going on in there besides when you close the knife, the blade's in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And I love the colors on this thing.
Yeah, it's giving like ocean, tropical, I don't know, something with blue and white just makes me think of the ocean and the water.
Yep.
I like
And there's a few other flavors out there if you want to think of something else when you pick this guy up. But yeah, 14C28N blade and really long. Like,
It is long.
it'll get a lot of work done even though it's so slim.
Reminds me of like a swordfish type, the look.
Yeah, and I think...
The animal, not the knife.
Yeah, I figure like the concept swordfish. No. We're thinking like marlin swordfish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's a cool one.
it's a really pretty one and a very fidgety front flipper. Sorry, Sarah. This one's Sarah proof.
Hey, that's okay. I would still have it. I like the way it looks.
Yep. Next up,
We're excited for these.
I've been eyeing this knife for a long time. This is the Reiff Knives Circadian.
Yeah, I think Reiff nailed this. I mean, if I can get that out. That's a great sheath, by the way. That knife is not going anywhere.
Yeah, but it also has adjustable retention. We'll talk about more of that in a minute.
It does. But yeah, they nailed this. I think the size is perfect. A lot of their fixed blades, if you haven't seen them before, are bigger, are more overbuilt.
Sort of survival-y style knives.
Yeah, used for super hard tasks. But these, I think, they put it right in the middle, right where it should be. It can, it's open to a lot of different kinds of users and uses, and I like that.
This drop point one has been calling my name for like a year now, and I'm glad that
Looks good.
like a lot of the craze has died down just enough that we can get some, but they're already going pretty quick from Blade HQ.
They
People
are.
love this knife.
I know, I've been seeing them all over. I'd imagine, do these come in other micarta colors?
Yes, we have green and black, as well as satin and stonewashed, and this black Cerakote on the handle, on the blades.
I bet the stonewash looks really good, but the black is really nice too.
Yeah, MagnaCut blades made in the USA, and the handle is so incredibly good. I remember at Blade Show, I went and visited with Stu a little bit, the owner of Reiff.
Yeah.
And I just kept going back to grab this knife. I'm like, I'm sorry, I need my fix. This handle is so good.
It is good. It feels really good in hand. And I love just the slight texturing of the micarta. So if you're not wearing gloves or you are wearing gloves, you're regardless going to get a nice grip on it.
Yeah, it's not going to chew up your hand or give you blisters or anything.
It'll patina for you too.
Yep, and both will come with this Kydex sheath, which has attachments for belt, however you wish to carry it. And both of them work in the same sheath. Just clicks into place. This one has a very tight screw right here, but if it's a little too tight for you, you can just back this out just a little bit and it'll be perfect. So you can dial the retention in however you like.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I would demonstrate, but this is somebody's sheath and I don't want to gum up your screws for in case this is exactly how you like it.
Let them do it.
Yep, your knife, your adventure.
Exactly. And then next up, we have the new Benchmade bailouts in copper.
Yeah, this copper aluminum and MagnaCut combo is so good looking.
Yeah, you like these a lot, don't you?
Yeah, the mini Crooked River that's coming out later, that one.
Yeah, that one looks good. I think it has like a black micarta with it. That looks clean.
Looks way good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like all those, MagnaCut blades with sort of this black stonewash finish, and then copper anodized aluminum. I don't know if it's an anodization or a Cerakote, but whatever it is, it looks really good.
It does, and these are so lightweight. I think Benchmade always does a good job with maintaining, if it's a more EDC knife, they keep the weight down. If it's meant for something a little bit more rugged, then they obviously put the proper materials in there. But it's a super lightweight EDC, which I think could also have a little bit of a border into like a tactical situation with that Tonto blade.
I remember when the original Bailout came out, they all called it the tactical bug out, because I mean it had a 3V blade in the Tanto.
Yeah.
But here we have MagnaCut, and my goodness, is it calling my name? Really good looking knife. And also fully ambidextrous. You can swap the pocket clip to the other side, and it's the exact same experience for a lefty.
And serrated and non-serrated as well.
Yep. Also backed by the Life Sharp guarantee, so free sharpening for life, also free maintenance and everything. They'll take care of you.
They do. They do a good job. Next up, we have quite a wacky looking thing on the table. This is the Nanner.
The Nanner. I see what you did there. CJRB. We got the yellow and the green.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's like a Karambit style folder.
Yeah.
In a way.
So I remember a few years ago, I had a coworker named Maya, and I showed her a Microtech. I'm trying to remember which one, but it had a very similar curve to this. Like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. Also, banana.
Yeah.
And that's just what I said. And I saw the Nanner, and it was yellow. I'm like, banana.
They know.
They hear me everywhere.
Well, it's literally called the Nanner, so they know that that's what it's for.
Yep.
But it's fun. It almost, it gives like, I think, what other brand does this? MaxAce does a good job of adding these really bright pops of colors, and so I liked seeing CJRB do it. They did it with the Hectare as well, so it's kind of similar vibes.
Yep. And we all love this shaped banana, but I believe it has a really sweet practical use as well.
Yeah.
If you just hold it right here, you have full access to the belly on the table. If I ever saw a folding kitchen knife, this was
Yeah, I
it.
could see that.
This thing would be so nice for like dicing garlic or something.
That'd be pretty good.
And the fact that it has serious banana vibes is awesome. However, if you don't like this color, there are a few other flavors, like I think I have an OD Green G10, excuse me, micarta, and they have a few others. But great price here, AR RPM 9. I forget what they're calling this, but their version of the crossbar lock. It's a lot of fun, and its price is $61.95.
Pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. That one's a lot of fun. I think of all the knives on the table, that might be my third pick.
Yeah, I like that one. It's a fun one.
Yep.
But continuing with CJRB, we have a little fixed blade.
Yeah, this guy is called the Mutt, M-U-T-T.
There we go.
Yeah, also AR RPM 9, micarta handle scales, and soft loops standard on a nice Kydex sheath. And I'll tell you, soft loops are the way to carry a fixed blade, in my opinion. If you're in a place, work in a place, or do a job where having a fixed blade is apropos, this scout carry, or this is probably small enough to even go in the front appendix, is so nice.
It is nice.
Yep, and then the knife itself, a nice girthy micarta handle, so it's gonna give you a good grip. And what I love is this really sharp belly at the front. So
Yeah,
if you're like
nice.
slicing or skinning or something.
Yeah, it's almost like a harpoon, like a modified harpoon in the back, where it has this nice thumb groove. So instead of jimping, they decided to just make a little cutout on the back of the spine which allows your thumb to sit there perfectly if you need to choke up on it. So
it also looks cool.
It does, but yeah, it's pretty smart of them to do that. It feels great in the hand. As you can see with my hand, I get full 4-finger grip on there. This thing feels great.
Yep. Nice and small, but big enough to get some real work done.
Yeah, I like it.
And the Kydex is just dialed. Very nicely executed.
I like
there.
when they have the thumb ramp on the back of the Kydex to aid in you pushing it off.
Yep, and it almost passes the jump test. It would have if I didn't hook it on the way up. But yeah, a very nice, well-executed fixed blade. Well done, CJRB. But they're not done yet. We have from Ray Laconico, the Kestrel.
Yeah, that one's cool. Another AAR, oh my gosh.
AR RPM9.
Can't speak today. But yeah, same blade steel as the other two. And then we have this nice G10 with kind of a little milled pattern in the handle.
Yep, and a nice Wharncliffe sheep's footy blade. And I'll tell you, these have been growing in popularity, I've observed.
Yeah.
People like just the fact that you can get that tip right against the table or the box or whatever you're cutting.
Yeah, they're not messing around. It does have a very flat blade to it. It allows you a lot of poking and piercing, I would assume, as well.
Yep, and then this one is a liner lock and a very snappy one at that. And I'm pretty sure you could front flip that.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Indeed. Sarah, we got to get you front flipping.
You know, I try.
We'll have to practice.
I try. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't.
We'll give you a test in a few weeks.
I'll practice on that one.
Okay, sounds good. Next up from Ocaso, we've gone quite bougie. This one is called the Delos, D-E-L-O-S.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that Damascus blade is stunning.
Yeah, and then they have like a carbon fiber, almost rose petal looking pattern. It looks really clean. I love the kind of blackout look, but it also has the gray tones. This thing is so lightweight because these handles are completely carbon fiber. They're not inlays.
Yeah, so one thing I love about Ocaso is sort of the different, sort of how much of a gear shift it is. So Rick Valdez started Ocaso, and some of you knife community insiders will know him from Cold Steel. So before Cold Steel sold to GSM, he was one of the higher ups there. And I was talking to him at a blade show once, and he says, going from like corner office at large knife company to scrappy underdog making his own knife company is quite something. But like, I still see corner office in this. I see a gentleman, a businessman. I see that in this knife. Yeah,
it definitely is very high end. And you know, I do appreciate this. I would call this a tanto, but it's a very exaggerated tanto. That is like it's a crazy point on that thing.
Yeah, gonna be great piercing. And I think for these more dressed up knives, you're not taking it camping. You could, I mean, it's built tough enough for it. But this is something that you're gonna carry in your slacks and use it to cut the foil off a champagne or open some caviar or whatever. Yeah. It's something that tip is gonna be very useful for.
Yeah. Definitely very gentleman-esque. I like it.
Yep, a very gentleman-esque price as well. $490, $499 on that.
All right, a grail knife, if you will.
Yep. Next up, from our buddy Jared Neve, we have the Inmate.
People are obsessing over these.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder why.
I know, right? I mean, he killed it. I believe 2 of them are already sold out on our site, so there's probably only 2 colors left for now. But yeah, this thing, the action, it is so smooth. I love the exaggerated thumb hole. It allows you to do the Spidey flick. You can use your thumb. You can open it however you'd like. And it just feels great in the hand.
Yep. Also, in heaven, all lanyard holes are like this one.
Yeah, you do like it when it's on the back there.
It's on the back. It goes through the spacers. That way you can still disassemble the knife and take care of it. Yeah. And you know Jared's all about that.
He knows his stuff.
Yep, and what I love here, 20 CV blade, nice and thin with a hollow grind, giving you a very thin and slicey edge. Yeah. And what I love is Jared is an expert of sharpening and geometry. And I'll tell you, when he came and did our video with us, I sat here with him for like a good 2 or 3 hours, just yakking about edge geometry, and they were so sick of it. They're like, well, you two just be done.
We're like, geez, what else is there to say about a blade? But I mean, obviously there is a lot, and he put all of his expertise into this knife. And it is a larger knife, which I'm not particularly drawn to, but I do really like this one.
So imagine if there was a mini Inmate.
I'd be all in.
Yeah, so Jared, let's make it happen.
I'm all in. But yeah, this one's great. I love the milling in the handles. It almost gives like a little raindrop pattern. That's the vibe I get from it, but adds a little bit of texture.
Like almost diamond patterned steel like you see in dog cages and whatnot.
Yeah, looks great.
Yes, very well done, Jared. This guy is going for $297.50. Next up, from custom maker Matt Gentry, we have this fixed blade, which is called the Gander.
The Gander. We have a lot of fixed blades on the table, and they're all kind of comparable in size. It's like that medium range. It's not too big, not too small. You could probably fit it in a pocket if you have men's jeans.
Yes.
Not women's, but...
I tell you, Sarah gets so jealous of how deep pockets get around here.
Oh, of course I do. But I love how exaggerated this finger groove is. It sits so deep, so you're not going to worry about the choil getting, or your finger getting in the way of the blade of anything like that. It has the jimping on the top, nice wooden handle. This thing's sweet.
Yep. And it's really tall flat grind as well. It's going to make it nice and slicey. It's almost like a chef's knife in how it's ground and functions.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, maybe I'm just hungry because all I can think about is how well is this going to cut food?
Yeah, you have mentioned that with about 4 knives on the table.
I'm sorry, but I mean, food is something we all cut a lot of. And if you're going to get a nice knife, I think you should definitely know that you're going to cut food with it.
Yeah, hey, you're not wrong. But it also comes with the standard CIVIVI lanyard, but I'd imagine you can have some fun with yourself if you just make one of your own.
Yep. Learn some knots.
Exactly. Pretty cool.
Yes.
I like this one.
I do as well. Next up, we have a new version of a CIVIVI classic. So we've seen the Pragma. This is the Pragma Prime, which is quite a bit bigger with a 3.5-inch blade, full aluminum handle, and a very nicely tuned button lock.
Sounds like a transformer. I just think Optimus Prime when I hear Pragma Prime.
Pragma Prime.
Yeah, that's cool. It has the same millings as the Vision FG, right? It has the same circle milled holes out the middle.
Yep.
Looks really good.
Yes, it does. And that
So
action.
smooth.
Oh, it doesn't get much more smooth than that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I remember when I started at Blade HQ, like sort of these more budget-friendly knives, you could only dream of an action like that.
Right.
But now
they're
here
all
we
over.
are. They're all over the place.
Yeah, I think when I think of thumb stud button lock for CIVIVI, I think of the Quibbit, and that one has fantastic action. And so obviously they know what to do with the button lock thumb stud.
Indeed. 14C 28N blade steel on this guy goes for $79.90.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Yep, and then next up, Kizer. We have the Drop Bear 2.
I know, I've been looking out for these. I brought 2 models in. There's one more as well that just has a standard drop point, but I thought these blade shapes were a little more exciting.
Yeah, I want to say we saw these on the Drop Bear fixed blade, and now we see them on the folder.
Yeah.
Got the clip point and the sheep's foot. And is it just me, or are these a bit thinner in the handle too?
They do feel like it. I don't know if they're a bit shorter. I was trying to think of, I have the other drop bear and it definitely feels chunkier. I do have the titanium scaled one, so I think with the added liners, it probably bumps it out a bit. But they do feel more slim and compact.
Yeah, a very nice micarta here. And one of my weird knife pet peeves is polished micarta. I want micarta to have a little bit of tooth to it, and they delivered here. It feels just right.
Yeah, it's gonna patina really fast.
Yep, in fact, if I just rub my thumb across it, you'll be able to
see
see
all
it
the oils.
already getting my oils on it. Sorry about
Exactly.
that.
I like this one though, the blue rich light.
Oh, that
It
looks
looks really
good.
clean. But these are the button lock, liner lock versions.
Oh, so there's a liner under there.
Yeah, so it's a liner actuated button lock. Button lock. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. It's like a top liner lock.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm into that.
Yeah, they're nice.
I
But
just figured it was just a regular button lock.
yeah, but it also does come in the standard crossbar that you guys have seen on the traditional drop bears.
Yep, the Drop Bear 2. I wanted to call it 2 Drop, 2 Bear, but nobody asked me.
Oh,
No one ever does.
sorry, George.
Yep, great price on these as well. $58.95 is where we start there.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get one.
Do
I need
it.
one.
And then lastly, the Hogue Mysto Element number 2 Fire is here.
Yeah, this thing is so good looking. It has like a burnt maroon red handle with all the cool topo millings. It has, I believe they're calling it a bronze anodized hardware, so the thumb stud, and then we have the standoffs in the back with that same anodization. And then we have that really cool dark wash blade.
Yeah, I'm getting some Mad Fire Nation vibes here.
That's what I'm saying. Every time, like, someone's like, what was the first one?
Water.
It's like water, fire, and then all
Earth.
the other earth,
So
air.
I think they deliberately made the cycle different. It goes water, earth, fire, air, but here they're going water, fire, earth, air.
I know, I was like, this is giving Avatar. I need one.
Yeah, I need all of them.
I know, they're so cool. Collect
Yeah.
them like the elements.
And also, we just got a restock of the water one as well, so you should check
heck
that out
yeah.
at Blade HQ.
Yeah, these are so smooth though. A MagnaCut blade, crossbar action. I love these. I wasn't the biggest fan of the original Mysto, I'm not gonna lie, but these, I'm all for it.
I think the drop point is what I needed in the Mysto.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge, I'm just not generally a huge Tanto guy,
Yeah,
but this guy, oh yes.
I know, that's clean.
Gonna have to make the Mysto club around here.
There you go.
Yeah, please tell me they like make an Avatar State one at the end that has a part from
All
all
of
of them.
Sick.
That would be amazing.
So cool.
Yep. All right, well, that is all the new knives we have on the table today.
I know. Well, thank you guys for joining. Hopefully you didn't get bored of all these knives because we'll have a ton more next week. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.
Next time.